Hi everyone, in today's video I am going to share with you 5 things that you can do to spice up your sex life. So if you are in a place right now where things are a little bit boring or routine and you are wondering, what could I do? What can I do different so that I can bring some of that passion back? Then this video is going to give you the tools that you need. I am Céline Remy, the Intimacy Angel, and I am here to help you bring your sexy back in life. But before we get started, make sure that you give this video a thumb like. If you've ever been in a situation where things were just a little bit too boring and sexually not happening, then click the like button and make sure you subscribe to my channel as well. I think the first thing is to realize that monogamy does not equate boring sex. There's a misconception that people think that it's normal for sex to just like wane down or not be as hot as you've been together for several years. So if you set your expectations really low and kind of think that that's what should happen, that's probably the reality you are going to experience. But I'm here to tell you that it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be boring. The only reason things get a little bit mundane is because you're not giving them the attention that you used to. I want you to imagine that your relationship, your sex life is like a plant. In order for a plant to grow and thrive, it needs a little bit of attention and it needs a little bit of water and every now and then some fertilizer to make sure that it has all the most optimal conditions to thrive. And when it comes to your sex life, it's no different. You need to make sure that you give it sometimes a little bit more attention. You can't just put it on autopilot and then just never give it any more thoughts. You've got to give it some attention. So the first thing that you can do is to play some sex game. And there are so many things. You can invent games together because then it's going to spark your creativity. You can find sex games by going online. I'll leave a link in the description below of some of my favorite sex games that you can get, and I'll leave you my link there. But ideally, you want to bring that playfulness and you want to just do things a little bit differently, and games help you to get into a different mood and set different expectations for the experience. Number 2, you want to be curious in the bedroom. And maybe sometimes people stop. They're like, I know everything I need to know about my partner. They like it this way. She likes it that way. He likes it that way. And that's it. Don't put your partner into such a container that there's no room for growth. Be willing to be curious and explore. And that comes from asking questions or touching different spots and witnessing. If you come with this attitude of curiosity, then it's like being a little kid. You have that playfulness, you have that eagerness to learn and discover something new. My tip number 3 is to give each other a pleasure session. And what you're going to do is you're going to set a certain amount of time, and let's say you have 2 or 3 hours. So you're going to set those 2 hours dedicated to cultivating pleasure. You're going to designate one giver and one receiver, and you each are going to stick to that one role for this entire time. You will, of course, have to set a different time at a different day to reverse. So whoever was receiving then becomes the giver, whoever was the giver becomes the receiver. Your task as the pleasure session happens is, if you are the receiver, to fully receive without giving back, and if you are the giver, is to explore your partner's body, just like if you were an artist with a blank canvas, and then you are going to create the most magnificent piece of art that you can imagine. What I love about this practice too is that you have a long time, like 2 hours is a long time, so you get to play with the entire body. Don't just go straight to the hot zones that you know work, but explore different areas and take your time, just like the way you would do it when you started dating and you didn't know anything about each other and you could be lost in each other's body for that time. For the receiver, the biggest challenge is to fully receive and to be willing to receive pleasure, because most of the time we neither doing fully the giving or receiving fully because we're like in our heads or have to-do lists, and that's a really good practice to help you be more in your body. When you feel more, you also will want to have sex more, and it will make sex just feel better altogether. My number 4, talk about your fantasies. Just talking about things that turn you on can go a long way. It could be about things you've always wanted to try but were too shy. It could be about things that maybe you've done in the past that you want to recreate, but simply about sharing. There's something when you open up the communication, and it's about creating a space that's non-judgmental about sharing things that turn you on. And you might even learn from each other things you had no idea. And then the fun part is also about seeing if you could bring this fantasy into reality, because that can be highly arousing. And my tip number 5 is to not related to the bedroom per se, but it will work in the bedroom. And what I mean by that is, if you want to spice up things in the bedroom, you need to have your creative energy and juices flowing. And so trying new things outside of the bedroom, it doesn't have to be sexually related, but maybe you've always wanted to go try a painting class, so do this together. Maybe you want to try a different trip than you usually do, like take the car and go in a different direction than what you usually do, or on a picnic. The idea here is to spark the creativity, because there is a connection between your creativity and your sexual energy. If you are feeling that things are a little bit blah in your sex life, things in your life are also most likely going to feel blah, because you're not separated. Everything is connected. So if you want to address the boredom in the bedroom, you also want to address it outside of the bedroom. And so think about things that you guys can do together, and think of things more creatively. And they don't have to be big, but it's just about finding that playful spirit and energy again. And if you can reconnect with that, that will help bring that same energy in the bedroom. So there you have it. These are my 5 tips for you to bring things back in the bedroom and spice things up a little bit.
Research suggests CBD products may improve libido by reducing anxiety. And no, CBD is not psychoactive. It does not get you high. A recent survey of 5,398 Americans from Remedy Review, a website that focuses on CBD and natural health remedies, found that 9.3% of respondents have taken CBD for sex. The majority of those respondents said their orgasms were more intense after taking CBD. If you are interested in experimenting with CBD in your sex life, I have found a top quality CBD product for you. Their full spectrum CBD comes from premium, sustainably farmed hemp plants, which are processed in the United States. Plus, they have no harmful solvents, chemicals, toxic compounds, or impurities. To get up to 51% off while supplies last, go to CelineRemy.com/go/CBD or click on the link below.
So remember to play sex games, to be curious, to talk about your fantasies, to give each other a pleasure session, and to do a lot of creative new things outside of the bedroom. And then take all of that energy into the bedroom and enjoy amazing, hot, passionate lovemaking. I hope today's video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be seeing you in my next video.